What's up, y'all? GT Jesse here, back with another Gran Turismo 7 video, and as you can see on screen here, I've got the Mona Lisa from Tokyo Drift, and I'm taking it around Suzuka. Not exactly drifting, trying to drift, failing, more or less going to Spin City. But surprisingly, I could actually hold my own okay in Gran Turismo Sport. The lobbies, tandem drifting, all that good stuff, not a big deal. Gran Turismo 7, on the other hand, yeah, Spin City. But a lot of y'all wanted to see a video of me basically creating a livery start to finish without a lot of the time-lapse stuff like I've done in the past. And so I'm going to do that with this video. The S15, you can see it's available to purchase right now in the used car dealership, but you can also get it if you've completed menu book number 18 in the collection of Nissan sports cars. And as soon as I got it, I went in, I added that wide body kit, you got to, and I was like, what else can I do with this car? And I remembered Tokyo Drift, baby, Hans Mona Lisa. So that's what we're doing today. We're building this wide body S15 and we're replicating Hans Mona Lisa from Tokyo Drift. And I will say that it's not going to be an exact replica simply because, as you can see, I love my carbon fiber pieces. And so I've got the carbon fiber lip kit going around. I went with the carbon fiber customizable wing on the back. So we still kept it looking clean. We didn't go obnoxious. We didn't put the tanning bed on the back. But, it's not going to be exactly like Hans S15 because he didn't have all these little carbon fiber bits. But not a big deal. This is more about how I did the livery, walking you through that process. Yeah, I went in here, got to get the rays. Right, Hans S15, he had rays on it. So I got the ones that look closest like the ones in Tokyo Drift. Offset, wide. I wasn't really sure what that did, so I'm kind of like toggling back and forth here. Oh, and you can see the back wheel. It's changing the offset, so that makes sense. And then the rim size from standard to wide, you see the tires stretch a little bit when we flip back and forth. So, wide body kit, wide wheels, wide offset, why not? All right, so flipping over to the livery editor here, first things first, we want to find that linear graphic that's going down the side of the car. We want to get something that's going to imitate that shape as best possible. And then if you look at Hans S15, that graphic actually wraps all the way around the front bumper. And so that's going to be kind of like step 2. But step 1 is getting the driver's side done. Once we do the driver's side, we're going to just duplicate everything symmetrically onto the passenger side. So you're really only doing one side of the car. And then once we get both sides, we're going to go on ahead and try and tackle the front bumper and get them to connect together. So I found this shape. I did the first layer, I made it orange, and then to create the pinstripe underneath, you simply duplicate the first layer, and then you change the color of the bottom layer, and then you hold down L1 to use the stretch and skew function within the livery editor, and that allows you to use your joysticks on your DualShock and stretch and skew that decal so that it can it'll stay in place, but it just kind of like stretches to create the pinstripe underneath. I did the same thing to create the black pinstripe here, so it's the exact same decal, it's more or less the exact same size, but I just kind of duplicate it and then massage it to get it into that pinstripe form that I want it to basically appear to look like. So it looks like there's a bunch of tiny little itty bitty decals, but it's really just one that I've duplicated and then stretched. I also am increasing the depth of the decal here, and that's just to get the entire decal to stretch across the lid of the trunk. And if you look at Hans S15, it does the same. I'm actually going to clean that up here in a minute, but this is basically just our starting point. So really good starting point, really good foundation. Flipping over to the front of the car, and you're actually going to see that I struggled quite a bit with the front of the car. It's kind of awkward because with Gran Turismo 7, and actually Gran Turismo Sport too, the livery editor has this feature where the decals that you put on the car will either align with the camera or they're going to align with the shape of the car. And to be completely honest, I don't know what the F that means. All I know is sometimes when I put the decal on, it looks how I want it to. And other times when I put the decal on, it kind of does this weird thing where it's like convex where it should be concave or vice versa. But anyways, you see me kind of going through here and, just choosing different decals to try and get these things to connect together. And the bottom of this decal, they're supposed to be blue on the bottom too. So that orange isn't supposed to stretch all the way to the bottom of the bumper here, but it does. And I'm thinking to myself, this thing's giving me a headache. I'm having kind of a hard time with it. So maybe I'm just going to go with like, good enough, whatever. We'll see how close we can get it and we'll just call it a day. Doesn't have to be perfect, right? Whatever. It's only Hans S15. It's only a replica. It's only my whole reputation on the line, right? No big deal. But unfortunately, I am kind of a perfectionist. And as you see me go in here and I try to stretch the pinstripe of the black, to go around the front bumper too. It just starts getting real messy. It's getting real chonky here. I mean, look at this thing. Like, you know, you can really see that it's not smooth. The lines are all haggard looking. So I'm just like, you know what, forget this. I'm starting from scratch. Delete all that. Let's just try to keep this simple, and we're just going to go with something simple like a rectangle and see if we can get that to stretch around. But you can see here now it's kind of bowing out, so I can't just stretch it straight across. So I'm like, all right, well, let's start with one of the corners. Let's go over to the corner and see if we can get that to work. That doesn't work. I'm not liking the results that I'm getting. And so then I come over here and I get this weird little kind of cookie decal. Looks like somebody took a bite out of a cookie, right? Like a Santa cookie that, you know, like he just took like one bite. Why doesn't he finish the cookies? I don't understand. But here we are, you know, we got this cookie decal, and this thing actually looks pretty good. I mean, when I start stretching this thing, you know, it has the general shape that I need, that kind of concave top and then the convex bottom. And so, you know, I'm thinking to myself, like, this will probably work. Like, we can get this to work. So again, you know, you can't see my controller, you can't see exactly what I'm doing, but I'm just kind of massaging these shapes, and I'm stretching them, and I'm rotating them, and then I'm duplicating them on the other side, and I'm trying to get them to work. After I duplicated them, they didn't look perfect, so then I had to add a little filler piece in the middle there so that the pinstripe, the black, looked smooth going all the way across the front grille. But, you know, overall, this is looking pretty good. Like, these connect, you know, everything. Like, I'm ready to start actually putting my brands on. So we're going to start with the rays. We're going to duplicate that on both sides. And then there are some custom decals that we have to download. So the first one's going to be this this GT Wing decal. And this GT Wing decal, you know, it's kind of, I don't love how Han decided to do this. I mean, you know, maybe it wasn't Han. Maybe it was old Bow Wow. I don't remember who put these decals on. But, you know, I don't really love how it's like rays, GT Wing, rays, GT Wing. Like, you know, in the world of variety, like, you want to tell me that the only 3 brands that, you know, Han had on his S15 were Rays, C West, and GT Wing? No, like, there was a lot more going into this car. Like, he had to have upgraded brakes. There was probably an exhaust system. You know, so he should have more than 3 or 4 brands, you know, on the side of his car, but maybe he's not a brand whore. Maybe, you know, for Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, maybe Rays did make exhaust systems, or GT Wing did, or something. I don't know. But anyways, we got the decals that we need. I go in, I'm just kind of cleaning up this pinstripe a little bit, making this look a little bit better after I looked at a second picture. And then I want to, you know, fix the back of the trunk lid here, you know, make that orange go all the way across. If you look at actual pictures of the car, that's basically how it works. The black and gray pinstriping is only on the side. So I'm just going in, I'm playing around with that, I'm massaging it a little bit. We're going to take the C West, we're going to add it across the windshield banner. They didn't have the exact windshield banner that I wanted. Not super particular about that, so we're just going to add the C West logo that's already on there. Just add that right to the windshield banner. On the back, we're going to basically paint the license plate holder black, and then we're going to add the Racer's Edge sticker on here because, come on, let's be honest. If you're not getting your parts from Harry, then you're not getting your parts, right? So here we go. Hans, Mona Lisa, start to finish, guys. We are good to go, the replica. I hope you enjoy this. I'm going to share it. TCR_GT Jesse, that's me. Gran Turismo 7, Gran Turismo Sport. You see me going in here. I'm grabbing all the parts basically to make this thing into a drift machine. Moral of the story here, you know, I don't want to overcomplicate it. You can see we got 3,200 for an intercooler, 1,000 for brake pads. We got exhaust manifold, 2,900, 10 grand for ceramic brakes. You know, we're getting all the good stuff. Basically, when you're building a drift car, you want probably around 350 horsepower. That's, you know, 300 to 400 horsepower is not a bad range that you can work with depending on the vehicle. You know, because, you know, this, we have a lot more tuning in Gran Turismo 7. Definitely get this hydraulic handbrake. That makes, you know, helping you slide out a little bit easier. But you absolutely want to get the ballast, and you want to get the ballast because it's going to allow you to modify the weight distribution in the vehicle. General thought process with any drift build is you want to make the vehicle lighter weight, you want to make the body more rigid, and you want to make the suspension more soft. And then you probably want to add a little bit of power. But boom, there you go. We got Hans, Mona Lisa going through Tokyo, right through the intersection there, that famed intersection. We got the 50-50 weight distribution on the side, about 360 horsepower over here. And then, you know, I'm just going to go through my settings sheet here, which, again, I'm not a great drifter, but I've been playing around with this one for quite a while. Tried a couple different spec sheets, and this one seems to work pretty well for me. A lot of this is just going to be personal preference, right? Like, not everybody's going to have the same setting preferences, and I don't expect you to have the same setting preferences as me. What feels good to me might not necessarily feel good to you, but I've tried a lot of different ones, and this car has really bad oversteer. You know, again, once you get the front and rear weight balance, that weight distribution to 50-50 using the ballast, you're going to be in a really good place with, you know, it's hard to kind of like mess up the rest of the settings, but, you know, generally speaking, again, you want to make the body more rigid, you want to make the car lighter, you want to add more power, and you want to make the suspension more soft. I always use either comfort mediums or comfort hards, but I always have the comfort hards ready to go just because the online lobbies typically require those. With the transmission, it really helps to have a customizable transmission. Again, not a requirement, but you really want to shorten the gears just because when you're drifting, you know, you're not going for top speed, you're not going for, you know, you need better, basically, you know, just more torque, more power in a shorter period of time, shorter range of time. So, you know, I've gone in and I've manually adjusted the gears here. We've got the higher RPM turbocharger. Again, this is a preference, right? But if you're going to be tacking out your engine, tacking out your transmission while you're going around corners, that higher RPM turbocharger is going to help out with that. You know, otherwise, if you're somebody who's more like feathering the throttle in the mid-range, then you might want to have like a mid-range turbocharger. Or if you're in a muscle car, then you would have, you know, a supercharger, right? And you're going to have all that low-end torque. But here you have it, folks. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks again for watching the video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you did. Again, this is GT Jesse, Gran Turismo 7. Thanks again for watching, y'all. Have a great rest of your day.